Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Dice Tower. Welcome to the Winter Spectacular. Welcome to Board Game Breakfast. I'm Tom Vassell.
I feel like you're reading your notes as you're doing, like, what are we called again? The Dice Tower? Winter Spectacular? I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. Okay, I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm now going to criticize Tom and then introduce myself.
You criticized me last week. All right.
I did. I'm Chris.
Welcome to the Winter Spectacular. We're glad you're here. We have 14 different games we're playing over this coming week. We have 32 top 10s coming your way.
Wow.
That's 390 games, Tom.
No, is it? I don't think it is.
It's not.
It's going to be less than that, probably. There's got to be crossover.
How many top
Yes.
10s did you say?
It doesn't matter because 4 of those top 10s have 30
'cause the
each.
crossovers.
Yes, I'm not bad at math.
Okay.
Nobody's
Oh.
trying to criticize me again for my math skills.
I thought I was just going with the joke Chris was making.
Wait,
His
so
joke
That's-
was
that's
off.
not
are you
me.
considering the top 10 surprises later today at 3 p.m. 4 top 10 lists or 1 top 10 list?
It's one top 10 list.
That's actually 4 top 10 lists.
But it's not 40 games because there may be crossovers.
We don't say welcome to the top 10 lists.
I'm going to start saying it now.
Anyhow, but between those 4 big ones, there's 130 possible different games.
Yeah.
Plus the other 28 means it could be 500 different games. But it's not. It's not because there's going to be crossovers. Anyhow, there won't be as much crossover as you think, though. We're going to talk about a lot of different games. And with that, I'm going to make my caveat that I make at the beginning of every year, which is the fact that there are so many games that come out. There's just so many games that come out over the course of a year. We're talking thousands of games. I was having a discussion with someone over the weekend who knows nothing about the board gaming business, and they were a person like, oh, so you mean like Monopoly? And I was telling them, we try to review all the games, and they're like, well, that's easily done. It's like, it is not. More games come out over the course of a year than came out the entire century in the 20th century at this point. It's pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is you talk about when you look at 30 years ago, you could do, Tom Vassell, could probably do a top 10 list of games from 30 years ago.
It's tough, but I can.
Yeah. And that's you. You know what I mean? I can't imagine how much I would struggle with that.
It makes me wonder. So video games, obviously, if you get rid of app games, it makes me wonder how many video games come out a year because they require, I assume, a lot more time.
Nope, it's
for
the same
coding.
struggle. It's the same
Yeah.
struggle. There's just so many video games out there. But
I mean, there are, yeah.
obviously, we don't need to play every game that comes out. I was at 5 and Below 2 days ago, and I looked at the game section there and realized I need to play none of them. I have played a couple of them. But that was an accident.
Sushi Go.
I don't think I was at 5 and Below. They weren't the
No,
one I
not
was at.
Sushi Go.
No, not Sushi Go. We got Quicks, and we got something else. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, there's...
We don't have to play all of them. There's tons of bad games that come out, but we can't even play all the good ones. We made lists near the end, and we rushed, and we played games outside of time and space to try to get these things done, and it's just not possible. But we played a lot. I played close to 350 this year, new games. I mean, I played probably 500 new games, but the first part of the year you're still playing
From last year.
From last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
and next week, we'll be talking about that, looking back at 2023. But we just don't get them all played. But we played enough. And there's enough of us that we played them all, I think. No, I mean, is there any big hot game that nobody played? I don't think that's the case.
If you include some of the behind-the-scenes staff, for example, I know Wendy and I did not play Menefer this year. And that's one of interest to me. Emery is saying that he really enjoys it. But there's just only so much time.
I also know I really wanted to play Algae, and I didn't get to that. Algae Inc.
I thought you said allergy at first. I was like,
Allergy.
I keep forgetting Algae exists.
Yeah,
not
Is
the
it
real
in the
stuff, the
library?
game.
it is. It's on 28 on the
Shelf.
bottom shelf. It's hiding from you.
That's the thing. Yeah, there's going to be
I
these.
didn't get to it.
So, did you finish your thought? Next week, we're doing the look back at our 2023 top 10 games?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're doing that to see how things have changed, if they've changed at all. But it still was a fantastic, amazing year. There's so many cool things to talk about, and we're going to be doing that throughout the course of this week. I hope that you enjoy that, and it's fun to take a look back at these things. If you are interested in the Winter Spectacular, please tell other people. Tell folks. Get folks to come in and watch us live. That helps out the channel, of course. We have different segments going up each day. We're doing a morning show. Today is Board Game Breakfast. Then we'll have a long section of gameplays and small top 10 lists, and then one big top 10 list. Today, for example, is top 10 surprises coming up later on today. And when we're done with Board Game Breakfast, we're jumping right to Revenant being played live. I can hear them yelling in the next room as they're practicing. I was like, they're not live yet, and they were already yelling at each other.
Yeah, we're starting with the biggest and apparently yelliest game.
Maybe it's all fun and games. All right, either way, that's all I got here, Chris. Now what do we do?
Let's see. Well, the one other thing I'd like to shout out is that Camilla put together these shirts here. So if you're coming to Dice Tower East and you want to pick up a shirt, this is going to be a look of what they're like. We're trying out different colors and materials, but this is going to be the graphic. Tina's fantastic artwork. Tina does so much great for the channel. So want to shout that out. So yeah, keep a lookout for these shirts during the course of the spectacular. Wendy, closing announcements.
Closing announcements. Let's talk about our sponsor, GripMat.
Let's do it. This show is sponsored by GripMat, who makes custom play mats for many of your favorite games. With their custom grip surface, you can keep cards and tiles in place without worrying about messing up the gameplay. Or you can get one without the grip surface if you just want a great-looking mat. Whether sprucing up a hot new title or an old classic, consider picking up a grip mat in the Etsy link below. All right, so the first segment of Breakfast is Eye Catchers. This is where we talk about something over the course of the last few weeks or so that has caught our eye. And for me, even though I play on Board Game Arena, I play games on there, I would say maybe weekly or so. I'll hop into like a small game, sometimes a big game. One thing I thought that BGA, as the cool kids call it, is stepping up lately is actually expansions. So you'll notice that the Sky Team Turbulence expansion is on there. The Heat Heavy Rain expansion you can play on there as well, as 3,000 Scoundrels Double or Nothing, and even small ones like the Far Away, the little extra cards here, the People from Below.
Will you look up Feast for Odin and see if they have the Feast for Odin expansion?
I will look up a Feast for Odin.
Because it's not a new expansion, but also it's wonderful.
It doesn't appear to have it. But and that's the thing, is like for a long time I would play games on here and with the assumption...
Board Game Arena, trash.
With the assumption that like, this is a nice way to try out a base game. But it's cool. I mean, that people are doing a lot of gaming on here to the point where they're putting expansions in digitally. I didn't really expect that.
Huh,
even which one?
Mutant Crops.
Oh, yeah. I think this is and Cosmoctopus. This was their Halloween announcement.
Big Halloween.
So, yeah, I just kind of looking through that, I thought, I haven't actually played Sky Team Turbulence yet. Maybe I can just at home when I'm lazy on the couch. So anyway, I think BGA is really stepping up their game. Oh, Acropolis even. Like we don't have this expansion in the office, Tom. The Acropolis Athena expansion.
We don't.
Yeah.
How sad.
Oh, we don't.
We do now, thanks to the power of the internet.
Yay.
Anyway, I like that. I like seeing BGA step up their stuff. So that's my eye catcher. Wendy, you're up next.
That's awesome. All right, so my eye catcher is not a board game or even board game related this year. What am I talking about today?
You get one a year.
One a year. That's not a board game. So people who are fans of Stardew Valley, the designer, Concerned Ape, he announced back in 2021 the video game that he was making next, and it was Haunted Chocolatier. And this is one that I was really excited about because I am a fan of Stardew Valley and actually board game related. I was introduced to this video game because of the board game, and I thought the board game was a little clunky. But I thought it was some cute ideas, and so I wanted to try the video game. And I'll tell you what, the book is better than the movie. The video game is better than the board game. Does that work? Does that comparison work?
Is that the equivalent, the modern day equivalent, Tom? Because books aren't written anymore, so it's just video games and movies.
But the book is analog, whereas the video game is digital. But the digital is better than the analog.
In this particular case, yes.
Yes.
But that is not always the case. But it is often the case.
Yeah.
That rarely will I pick the board game over the video game it comes from.
So on December 4th of this year, after multiple years of silence about Haunted Chocolatier, Concerned Ape did mention, he had this big long post, which y'all are welcome to read, but he did mention that he has not given up on Haunted Chocolatier. It is happening. He just spent a lot of time recently on the 1.6 Stardew Valley update, which I know I loved. It just added a ton to the game. And so it is happening. He said even if he doesn't send updates, he's still working on it. So, I mean, the last one before this.
Is this an expansion or the same game?
It's a different game. It's a completely different game. It just has a similar look.
Those screenshots looked exactly the
They
same.
look very similar. It's got different combat, different mechanisms, all that jazz. So it's a different game, but it's still his style.
From an outsider perspective, it looks like the exact same game.
Just
and
in
then
winter?
I realized, wait a minute, you can say that about every Uwe Rosenberg game ever. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just the resource wheels and farming.
So, anyways, I'm excited. But yeah, his last update was December of 2021. So I'm happy to get another update. That's my eye catcher, Tom.
Chris, I'd like to change mine. Can I?
Sure.
At the last second? Here, type in
Oh, boy.
that word there.
Oh, Z played this live the other day, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, a few
Okay.
weeks ago.
Well, yeah. So the thing I'm going to talk about, Chris will talk about in the future because it's cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Chris
I'll
really
do
found it. This is all I did this weekend, basically. Well, I did not. I actually did lots of shopping and many other things. But this is...
What is it?
It is a poker roguelike game that is so fun and so amazing. And I finally beat it yesterday, and I beat it this morning. That's twice out of like 15 games. Because the games are pretty long. In this, you are playing poker with this deck of cards, and you make a poker hand, and it gives you points, basically. Each card gives you some points, and then there are some multipliers. But after you're done playing a round of this, and you get the points, you start adding cards to your deck. You start adding these jokers, which give you more multipliers, and that's ridiculous. No one ever gets that high of a score. What was that nonsense I just saw in the millions? Piece of trash. Makes
I've
me
gotten
mad.
in the tens of millions.
Have you?
No, I've never played this.
But you're an expert after one weekend.
This is 10 out of 10. Like, I like this better than, I think, Slay the Spire.
Wow.
Because...
The board game or the movie?
The movie. I don't know, man.
am Spire.
This gives me the feeling that I first got when I first played Dominion. I'm having that much fun because there's so many combos in this game. Every time I play it, I'm like, man, I hope I get that card I got last time that gave me this cool combo, and I don't. And I get something else, I'm like, wow, well, we'll see if I can work with this. And yes, I know people have been yelling at me to play this for a long time in chat. I finally got to it.
Yay.
And this is amazing. I don't like the graphics or the sounds. They're like, ooh, it's like 80s style. I don't know why people love that so much, but whatever. The gameplay itself is amazing. So I'm not good at it, obviously, since I've only beaten it twice.
So when you say roguelite, is this one of those, like, if you mess up, you start over?
Yeah, eventually, if you don't meet your target score, so you're trying to make a hand of cards. Well, you play a hand of cards from what you get. You can discard cards, but you're also changing your deck. Eventually, you can get wild cards in your deck and cards that give extra points when you play them. And what's that 9 million score? It bothers me every time I see that.
Andrew, your newest employee, Tom, says that he's gotten scores into scientific notation.
Okay, well, I have.
So-
Yeah, that and maybe I will. I mean, that's my goal. My
Kids
goal is
these
to
days,
get there.
am I right?
Yeah, so this is an amazing game. Balatro, I highly recommend it. It's like $10 or something to that effect. So I don't play it at work, but I really want to.
Deck building poker.
Yes, it's great.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, Z's talked about how good it is too. Clearly, a lot of people in the chat are very agreeing with you. I'll have to check this one out, Tom. All right. Well, those are eye catchers for the week. Let's jump to some contributors.
Isn't it obvious, Tarrant?
Well, Stella, let's have a look. Do you twist open an Oreo cookie and then eat it, or eat the Oreo cookie as it is? How
Okay.
about we vote?
Okay, I vote the second one.
Right. And, hey, it was obvious.
Was it the second one?
Well, it was obvious. But this is a game that doesn't really work at 2 players. This is a game that works at, I don't know why we
3
demonstrated it, to be honest.
I don't know. 3 players.
Game that works at 3 to 8 players. So you'll be given an obvious prompt, and everyone chooses which side they think is obvious. And from there, it becomes a social deduction game. Everyone who voted on the minority side has to get voted out by the majority side. And so everyone sits around and then argues in favor of the obvious side.
Yes. It's star watching, not bird watching. Thank you.
You watched Birds with me after that.
This is a really fun game. We played, 6 players? And then it's like a really light social deduction. So you kind of like don't want people to know that you voted the minority if you are the minority. It's hardly when everyone actually voted the same answer.
Yes, it takes you back to, I guess, high school debating, except on extremely frivolous topics. And it does have that thing where you need to go in knowing the arguments from both sides because you might have to argue about something you passionately disagree with.
It's so obvious. Not really. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Right.
What happened when you pick it up? Did you think of this? Go on, pick it up. Pick them up. Genius idea, isn't it? You think it's genius idea?
Hey, it's Beard here from Rolling with the Beard. Let's talk about components. In this textile hobby of modern board gaming, components can really add or subtract, if they suck, from the enjoyment of a game. And yes, I know, no amount of metal coins or detailed miniatures can save a game if it's complete garbage. However, they can greatly add to the overall experience of a game. So this week, let's take a look at this component. This thing, yes, this thing actually goes to a game. No, it's not a hula hoop for your garden gnome. Or that's not a chirp wheel. That's a chirp wheel. This is actually a component from 25th century's hamster wheel game. If you couldn't guess, hamster wheel is a dexterity game, and players will be placing their wooden pieces on this hamster wheel thing in an attempt to get rid of all of their pieces. And a player during their turn will add one piece onto the hamster wheel. They have to add it onto the section that the previous player added to or one of the next 2 places. And the piece that they add has to go further along than any other previous pieces. And there cannot be 2 matching colored pieces in the same section on the wheel. And any pieces that fall during a player's turn, they have to collect those and add those to their pile, thus making it less likely that they are able to get rid of all of their pieces to become the victor. This piece demands table presence, and maybe a long table as it rolls across the table as players add pieces to it. It is a bent piece of wood that has been painted with these ribbed segments in there. And it's just a very interesting component. Pretty sturdy, too. It seems like it would last the test of time. This component is the star of the show. So this one goes out to you, yellow spiky wheel thing from Hamster Wheel. You are this week's Beard's Component of the Week.
All right, the top 10 list today. Wendy, you came up with this topic, I
I
think, right?
did.
Yeah. We wanted to winter spectacularize it a little bit.
We did. So the top 10 list is games to bring to a holiday party.
Now, this is different from other parties because I actually go to holiday parties.
Yes? You don't go to other parties?
No.
You're not like a getting crunk partier?
Tom, what's your assessment of me?
I don't go to parties for the most part either because there's usually baby showers and I refuse to go to them. And I refuse this whole new idea of the co-ed bridal shower. I'm going to stand in the past and say it's stupid. So although I don't go to any of those, which is like half the stuff we get invited to.
What about birthday parties for kids?
No, I drop my kids off and run.
Run!
It's true.
I feel like
That's
there's
true.
an age. There's like a point where you're allowed to do that when they're little. And the
When they're
birthday...
little, I drop off my wife and kids and run.
Yeah. I was like, when they're little, the birthday party's for the parents, not for the kid. But once the birthday party's for the kid, then I feel
Well,
like then it's...
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think birthday parties for kids under 3 are stupid. They're stupid. The kid will not remember it. You are wasting money and time, and you're just doing it to everyone can get around and have some other party. And then you invite other babies, and everyone's like, "Wow, that's so dumb."
Those
I'm
two
grumpy
babies
old man
like
right
each
now.
other. They're going to get married. They're
The
Yeah,
adorable.
but when
the
you have
whole
a kid-
1-year-old birthday party that you spent $10,000 on, that's insane.
Well, I think
Whoa,
any
what?
birthday party you spend even $1,000 on is too much. Way cheap birthday parties.
Well, holiday party is that time of year where
right.
our church has one. If you work in an office building, you probably are going to have an office one. You might have some social obligations with friends and with family. And the other family they don't really want to see, but you're going to go see them anyway. There's just so many holiday parties that come up at this time of year. So let's talk about the top 10 games to bring to one of those. And I'm going to go first. Oh, and then also, if you, in the live chat, go ahead and comment what game you would bring, and I'll be picking one out from the chat to be the number one.
Making a kid happy before 3 is not dumb. You can make a kid happy before 3 by giving him 3 blocks. You don't need to throw a gigantic party. Don't even try to.
Those
I'm
blocks
still saying
cost
the-
$10,000.
I'm still saying the
Tom.
party's for me, not for the kid.
I love going to parties. When I have a kid's birthday party at my house, drop your kids off. You don't need to stay. That's what I tell people.
Yeah, no, it's a nice
for the
policy.
kids.
It's a nice policy. Wu-Tang for the kids. Number 10 game to bring to a holiday party for me, Penguin
I
Party.
don't understand why these are numbered, but go ahead.
Because it's the top 10. Anyway, so number 10, Penguin Party. This is one. So the top one there is the art that we have from the plate printing of the game. Plate. I always
just
used to say Play-T. I'm still breaking the habit. But the 25th Century actually just released this, as well as that hamster roll game. I'm sorry, Beard. Hamster wheel game. This is a Knizia game where you're just playing cards out and you're trying to stack into a pyramid, and you have to play one of the colors below. If you play out a green card, one of the 2 cards below it has to be green. And it's just kind of a silly, fun, not very serious game. And people can get kind of cut off with different colors. You just play round after round for a little bit. It's fun. Very adorable. And if you like that artwork, then
It's okay.
I think it's a very disarming game.
I'm glad you put this on your list because I thought about it and then I forgot about it, and now I'm reminded.
Yeah.
I think Uno might be better than this game. I think they're pretty
No.
close, and
Oh, no.
This has way better choices than Uno.
it's okay.
The choices matter,
All right.
and the penguins are adorable.
All right, Tom, do better. Do better with your number 9.
Oh, this is easy. I don't even know what number 9 is, but show me, and that's good. Oh, just one.
Yeah, it's on the card in front of you.
Oh, this was the order you put them in?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Just One is a great game. And when I think of these kind of parties, mine are usually the Christmas/New Year's, whatever. I bring a game that every single person on earth can play. And all 3 of mine are kind of that way. And this is great. This is a game that every time I bring it to our church and set it up and people start playing, I will come back 2 hours later and it is still playing. You know, it might not even be the same people who started.
It's one of those games that always morphs. Like someone
Yeah.
pops out, another person comes in.
Yeah.
It's a Ship of Theseus situation.
Do you ever have people sharing the whiteboards where
Game
you're
of
like,
Theseus,
this is
that's a
my
good top 10
side?
list. Give me write that down.
Whoa.
Oh, but I have the same idea as you, Tom, of I really feel like these holiday parties are not game nights. You're not going to bring a game that people are going to sit down and like really play, and you're going to have the same group there the whole time. But instead, you want people that have, they'll come and they'll go and they'll enjoy it, and it can fit a lot of people.
People are also standing around watching it. There's always Uncle Joe who says he doesn't want to play the game at all and is eventually in the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It always happens.
Commenting
He's
over
like,
someone's
I don't
shoulder."
know. I don't know. That's a dumb clue. Move out.
You clearly should have gone with shenanigans. Yeah.
All right, well, with the same concept, my number 9 is Green Team Wins. Now, I know the box isn't green, but the concept is green, and so
You know we have a
that
Christmas expansion
immediately...
for this.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah.
That's true. That just came in from
okay, because I was
25th
thinking you could
century.
make your own Christmas expansion for this, so that's even better. So with the Christmas expansion, Green Team Wins. This is another one that you don't have to keep score, and I know the score is like the main point of the game, but also just writing down on a whiteboard and seeing which group wins each round, I think is fun. So this one, I feel like you could have people come and go as you so desire, and it's just a good big group game that anybody can play.
My number 7 is a little bit of more of a card game. Yours are kind of these like amorphous games that people can pop in and out of.
Yeah.
Penguin Party, not really like that. But number 7, Push, is also kind of like Penguin Party. It plays up to 6 people, I think, really easily. It is not very serious. It's very quick and punchy. So if and it's a fun game to watch. So even the people that don't want to play games can watch you push your luck and laugh at you when you bust and laugh at you when you roll the die and lose all your green cards and stuff. This is a surprisingly good game.
Who
and I
are
like
you
this
having
one a lot.
holiday parties with? These people that just laugh at you constantly.
I played. This was one of my lunchtime games when I was at the
Every lunch was a
accounting
party
firm.
for them when they were at the accounting firm. They're like, yes, no more numbers. Lunch!
This game
And
is
then
full of numbers.
Yeah, I flip over a bunch of cards full of numbers. Do probabilities, son. They loved it. All right,
Oh, yeah.
that's number 7. Push.
Nerds.
Thomas.
My number 7 is, my number 2, which is 6, which it doesn't matter, is a new, and the same thing, Link City. Are all these going to have... all right. That's a terrible title. All right, Link City.
It's not my best work.
Come on, Chris. Anyway, whoever played that game on Link City or set that up is lying because no one gets that good when they play this game. You were going to put out some buildings, and then you put out another building, and people have to guess. There's possible locations. People have to decide which building you put where, and it's just so much fun to hear people argue whether the bar should be next to the hardware store, or next to the sports stadium, or where the police station should go. It's just a lot of fun. I really... This one has had I've had really good luck playing this with people who don't play a lot of other games or any other games.
My favorite was when we had the alien abduction site next to the school. Made me so happy.
Why next to the school? I would have put it next to the farm. Anyway.
Well, there was a farm and a alien abduction site and the school. And so the kids got abducted. Made me happy.
So that way you don't have to go to the parties. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. So this is a game
What?
that's like Timelines. No, this is a good one.
I'm
This is
talking
a
about
good
Chris's
party
topic. I'm
game.
not talking about your
okay.
game.
I was like, this is a
choice.
fabulous game. So this is it follows the concept of timeline, but instead of trying to rearrange dates, you're trying to arrange what you think the Rotten Tomatoes score is. And so this one I really appreciate because when you bring it to a Christmas party or something like that and you play with non-gamers, a lot of those people know movies. And I could play this even though I don't really know movies because I just needed someone at the table to tell me a little bit about the plot, a little bit about the actors. And so then I could kind of get a feel of where it's at and then I could still play. And so I think this one is just very welcoming if you have that welcoming table where everyone's just wanting to talk about the movies and remember, oh my gosh, do you remember that terrible movie? Has anybody watched it? Like
I just played this one a couple Saturdays ago.
Oh, do you?
Some people came over here to play a bunch of games, and one guy brought his son. His son's like, I have to play this Rotten Tomatoes game. I was like, yeah, well, why not?
They
So we
like
pulled it out. Yeah, it went over really well. It's just great. And it's really funny when you have like a 6 and a 10%, and you're like, I know this game's terrible. This movie's terrible, but is it 9% or is it above 10? It's just good.
It's
I
fun.
agree. And people like talking about movies. This is one of those games you can hang out and relax with as much as play it almost, right?
Yes.
So perfect for a holiday type setting.
Also, it's red, the color of Christmas and blood.
Number 4 here is one that I also know Tom is going to disagree with. See, I picked mine before you did, and I was like, I'll pick ones that I know have no chance of crossover. And this
You were
is
successful?
Trio or Nana.
No, this is
Or
different.
Christmas Nana.
This is different. I don't like this game, but I understand why other people do like it.
Yeah.
I think Penguins is boring. This one I don't like, but I know I'm in the minority.
Do you
I
not
see.
like memory games? Is that why?
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, I don't dislike memory games. I don't want to play memory match, and that's all this is.
This is one of those games that's like on the weight of Uno, but it's just more fun. It's punchier, and it's more exciting when people can, get that set of 2 cards that adds up to 7. Or if it doesn't happen often, but if you can get a win by grabbing all 3 7s, man, that's so exciting. So, and also the fact that if you can find it, that there is a Christmas edition.
Oh,
That's helpful.
cute. So this is one of those games that I feel like gets better the more you play it in an evening because you start to lose the ability to to remember where stuff is at. And that's when I think it gets fun. Yes, Tom.
The longer
Yes,
the party goes.
All right. You're number 3 or you're number 1 if you want to call it.
Yes. The next one is, this one's a little self-serving, but I liked it so much I've added it to the Dice Tower Essential line, and this is Edo. And I remembered specifically we played this last New Year's Eve. And it went over so well that I'm bringing it back to New Year's Eve party this year. I also played it with my family. My daughters just brought this out the other day to play with people. And just as you cooperatively, and I find that cooperative party games, that's a great genre. It really is. Everyone's just working together, and you're just putting cards in order number-wise through a certain category. And when everyone wins, it's just very enthusiastic. But also, there definitely people are going to argue and complain about this one. I really like it. Edo.
This is another one where I feel like you could create your own Christmas topics if you wanted to get super festive.
Yeah, I don't know that I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with expansion pack topics for it at some point. We'll have to see. I have to talk to Robert if that's like a thing.
You know what I want to see?
promo?
I want to see 0 being naughty and 100 being nice, and then you rate everybody at the party.
That's
That's
different.
how you win friends.
Interesting.
All right, next one.
When he's
for
trying to
me.
ruin the party.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, my last one is also a cooperative party game, and this is So Clover. This is one that I love. We always play it at the end of conventions, and I feel like the group just grows. And even though you run out of the little clovers that people can write on, people just grab one that's been used and some other, they start writing their own while everyone else is playing. And so there's just a game that can keep going. It's got that cooperative nature, so you're working together. I also like that at the beginning, everyone that's in the group can just sit down and think and take that thinking time, and then you can just start playing. And so this is just my absolute favorite party game of the moment. Yeah, the last couple of years, honestly. This is one that just keeps sticking around for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it says max 6 players because there's only 6 clovers, and people at Dice Tower Retreat and Dice Tower East have proven that wrong. Once again, that effect you're talking about, Tom, but people just standing around, watching it, and then kind of getting absorbed into playing it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Definitely. Also, all of my games were green, red, green. Just wanted to point that out. I thought it was cool.
Tom thinks it's very cool.
No, I'm still like embittered at Chris's dumb comments on that side here.
And for the number 1 choice here, I'm going to pick what Mr. Millstream said here. Hitster is great if people like music. And it's a little bit of a caveat.
Explain me how number 1 works.
Number 1 is the people, people submitted in the chat, and whoever's kind of whoever leads off, who does the 10 and the 7 and the 4 gets to pick it from the live
They
stream.
picked the number 1 answer from.
Is Chris always the 10, 7, and 4?
No.
No, we
I was last week.
rotated around.
Ah, okay.
I don't want to put too much responsibility on you, Tom. I know you've got a lot going on this week.
Did you want to be
No,
the number
no,
one
no.
picker?
But I would have said raise it bet because 2 people said that. But
Well, fine.
No, Hitster is actually a pretty good game. I like Hitster a lot.
Hitsters is great. It's basically kind of the music equivalent of the Rotten Tomatoes game almost.
I agree.
Yeah.
But there's something fun about, just like scanning the QR code, song starts playing, and people are like, ooh, this is like a 70s song. This is definitely from the 80s, and it turns out that you've never heard of this artist named The Weeknd. And you're
See,
like,
I can kind of get by in the Rotten Tomatoes game. I can't get by in this one. I just don't know.
Oh, I can't
just don't know
either,
music.
but I really like watching people who like music argue about
Yes.
it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's true. Playing this game with like Mike and Z and watching them
It was
just
so
like,
much fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's the number 1 choice. Those are 10 great games to bring to a holiday party. Let's move on to some more contributors.
This is a segment where we take a look at a board game based on an IP, and I tell you if the IP and the mechanisms match. Today we're looking at Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Snowball Scramble.
On a turn, you're going to roll the 6-sided die. It's going to tell you how many spots you can go. So if there's 4, you'd flip over 4 of these tiles. If it's 3, you'd flip over 3. And what you're doing is you can flip over 4 of these. Let's say I rolled a 4, and you can do that. So for every Rudolph I have, I can move Rudolph up 1 spot. I got another one, I can move him up again. Same thing with Hermie. I got a Hermie, I got 2 of those, I can move him up 2 spots. Now keep in mind that these spots right here require 2 Hermies. Now, if you get up to the snowstorm spot and you're going to cross a snowstorm, that's fine. You just shuffle these up so you can no longer memorize where they're all at, and you would go again. There are misfit ones that will let you go to the misfit spots. As you can see there, you'd have to pull those over when you're going. And then lastly, there are the Bumble ones. If you get the Bumble one, he will move to the next spot. And these will pop up more and more if you don't watch your memory. If he ever goes all the way around the board and back to a start, you lose the game. If you get all of your guys up to the top before the Bumble gets back to the start, then you win the game.
As you can see, this is a game for much younger gamers. So if you have a little gamer in your house, it's a great stocking stuffer. I like this game quite a bit. You're cooperatively working together to get them up the track before the bombable snowman goes all the way around. And you have to memorize where the snowballs are at so you can have a better chance of going. And like for us adults, we're like, well, that's pretty easy. But for the little people, that's going to be harder for them to do and exciting and challenging. I kind of have my little guy, I have him pick those out and try to work on his memory as it goes through. Now, does the IP match? I mean, it doesn't tell the overarching story. Once again, we're zooming in on one scene. I like to think of the scene where they're running from him and trying to get away, and he's chasing them. That's kind of what I see going on here. and it just kind of brings that in. So you're kind of moving up these tracks. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense while you're pulling over the tiles that you are. But here we are at the Snowball Scramble, and I like the game. The theme probably isn't as strong, but I think it works well enough to support this game. So for littler gamers that celebrate Christmas, I would recommend this one.
Hi, this is Rich Saunders, and welcome to Co-op Gestalt, a place to talk about cooperative games, cooperative game mechanisms, and sometimes solo games. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite game room accessories. In fact, I almost think it's a necessity for your game room. These are knee-high tables. They're called knee-high tables because they're at the height of my knees. Your sodas and all your drinks can go on tables below the main action up here. So if I stand up, you'll see the table is at the height of my knees. The reason I like knee-high tables is because if I'm drinking and accidentally spill, which happened to me at this very Coke can at this very table, then I don't have to worry about it contaminating the main action. If I'd had it up here and spilled it, what if it had gone the wrong way and gone on this beautiful board game? So this is why I like knee-high tables. These knee-high tables aren't too expensive either. I think I got these at Target or Walmart for like 20 or 30 bucks. They're the outside tables, and I really think that they do a great job of making it easy to not worry about drinks, because I put one at every corner and all my friends have a place to put their drinks while they're playing, and that way I never have to worry about spillage of my board games. In fact, I think these are actually a great gift too. My friend Joe just recently got a new place, and what did I get him for his housewarming? Some knee-high tables. Anyway, that's Rich Saunders. Do you have any knee-high tables in your tables? Let me know in the comments below. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
What we do here is go back.
I want my drinks up here. I have a
You have a shoulder heights table.
I just place them on the floor and then I kick them over on accident.
And that's why we're not invited to many parties.
Christmas parties.
Yeah, you got Nog in the boss's carpet last year.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
We broke into your house and stole your eggnog.
Also, Tom doesn't have carpet,
There's one
right?
person I know who didn't break in my house. It's
There's
Chris.
like nowhere out here that has carpet.
No. I got. First of
You
all,
have
we're
carpet?
like literally on carpet right now.
Well, we put this in special.
I have throw rugs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like them a
That's
lot.
fair.
I would carpet my whole house because I like carpet. I like walking around in barefoot in carpet.
I don't like the allergens of carpet.
Well,
And I don't like vacuuming. I'd much rather sweep and mop.
I don't know. That's tricky. It's hard to walk on floor for a while though.
Yeah, I always wear shoes in my house. I like arch support.
Yeah, I don't know. I had socks. I'm a socks kind of man.
I'm a socks guy too. I said barefoot. I meant socks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Barefoot is bed. That's it. The rest of the time I'm worried I'm gonna step on a bug.
All right, well, our old school game is Christmas Tree, and this was inspired by the season. And in this game, you're placing out tiles, you're drafting tiles, and then you're placing them on your Christmas tree board, and you're building a nice little Christmas tree, trying to meet specific objectives and line up the little Christmas lights. So, do you guys have any thoughts on this?
Chris is showing the newest version of it. It originally came out in 2017. It was an older version. I forget what the box looked like, but
This is the one we have in the library, I think.
yeah, I upgraded it. I was just
Was
charmed.
it this here? Chonka!
No, I do like that.
Oh, I like that cover more than the current cover.
I like this game mostly because of the theme. Christmas games are a hard sell in general because people just don't want to buy them in July. They just really don't. It's hard to sell. Like Halloween games can sell year round. Christmas games can't. But yeah, this one it's basically a game where you can't match everything, so you just try to match as much stuff as you can. And I'm kind of surprised it didn't get more love. I thought it was a good game.
I think the box is a little big for what comes in it because these boards here are like big puzzle pieces. It's kind of clunky, but it's nice looking. So I don't know. Maybe it's just that perception of it's a very light drafting game, and I like it. I like all the different aspects of it. It does something I've not seen done in other games, I don't think.
The drafting objectives?
Yeah,
part?
everyone picks an objective to score for, and then they flip it over at the same time, and everybody gets to score those objectives this round. And I think that's neat, right? Because it's not just, let me pick my own scoring thing for the round. No, I'm going to pick it for everybody, but obviously I feel like I'm going to try to be able to maximize that more than others. And you play over 3 rounds, so the ones that you're holding for later in the game, you can be building up for the whole time, and hopefully the other players aren't. I think that's pretty brilliant, actually.
I think it's clever, and I really appreciate that you revealed those objectives at the beginning of the round and not the end of the round. That way, everybody has a chance to actually build towards them instead of, ooh, I accidentally
I like that when you're
succeeded.
done, you have a cool-looking Christmas tree.
You
that
do.
matters to me, that when you're done with something, it looks cool, and I enjoy this one a lot in that regard.
I just like the gingerbread scoring.
Gingerbread is you're trying to score stuff next to it, right?
Yeah, it has specific stuff that you have to put next to it.
Arcs did it.
Arcs did what?
Yes, you're right, Andrew. Christmas Tree and Arcs are basically the same game.
They are.
You pick the scoring for everyone. It's done a little differently in here than in Arcs.
Arcs did it first.
Back in 2017.
But yeah, this is a fun game. It's been in the Dice Tower library the whole time that we've worked here, and we've never pulled it off the shelf. And we were inspired to do so because we've heard you say, yeah, it's a pretty fun game. Light, but fun.
There's not a lot of tile-laying games out there. If you like Cascadia, you might like this, actually.
There are a lot of tile laying games out there.
I don't think so. Tile-laying? There's not that many. Compared to other genres?
Compared to worker placement, I guess, right? Like
Compared to roll and write, compared to, like, drawing a tile and placing it, there's not that many comparatively.
Really?
Like, how many games of like Carcassonne are there?
Because, like, Acropolis, when that came out, you're like, oh, this is just like all the other tile laying games.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, just because it's like all the other ones doesn't mean it's good.
There's so many tile laying games out there.
Okay, we have a minute. I find it odd that if we have it up here, Through the Desert is called a tile-laying game.
It is not.
Which...
It's behind you, Chris.
It is behind me? Is this a tile-laying game?
No!
What is it then?
It's a game it's an abstract piece-placing game like Go.
Like route connection almost kind of
Yeah.
a building game, right?
Tile-laying game. Who called it that? Oh, is it BGG?
The entire Knizia community, refers to this as a...
They are the experts.
They are the... I'm curious, right? Because I never think of it as... I think of like Carcassonne and Isle of Skye and those types of games.
Yes, those are tile-laying because you know what you do in those games? You lay tiles.
This is a camel placement.
Not a tile-laying game.
Is a camel laying
great game,
like
though.
an egg laying game?
Great game.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that's always kind of befuddled me a little bit. But it's considered it's considered a very interactive one. But no, it's about camels. This is tile laying.
What about polyomino
Knizia
tile
fans.
games? Do you still consider
That's
those
different. I
tile
consider that
laying?
polyomino.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I consider it a mix, I guess. Like patchwork.
It's kind of like a dice placement game. I don't really consider it to be worker placement because the dice matter as you put them out. They're they're related. They're kissing
I feel like
cousins.
it's like the whole square rectangle thing.
Square, rectangle, fourth dimensional hypercube kind
Yes.
of conversation, right? Tesseract, baby. All right. Well, that's our old school game, Christmas Tree. That's Board Game Breakfast. Folks, in 15 minutes, we're going to be kicking it off with the biggest game of the spectacular Revenant from Mind Clash Games. But what else is going to be the next block there?
special guest Mike Delisio.
Ooh.
Yeah, then we'll be going to, I'll be doing my top 10 deduction games. Z's doing his top 10 spin-off games. And Eric Summer will be giving his top 10 games of the year. Then Chris will teach us Avatar, The Last Airbender, Aang's Dynasty. Then he'll be talking about his top 10 welcoming games. And then I'll be doing my top 10 family games, which I just realized are very similar, probably.
Yeah, I wonder how much crossover there'll be there.
Then me and Mike are going to go head-to-head in
We're down
Neon
to 480
Rain.
games now.
Then I'll be talking about my top 10 party games of the year, and Brian Drake and Carla will be doing their top 10 games of the year. And then finally, later on, our top 10 surprises, me, Chris, Mike, and Z. Did I mention Mike's here? Because he is.
He
He's
is.
just in the other room. If we turn that camera around, you'd see a wall. But beyond that wall,
Oh, with the X-ray.
there'd be another
Oh,
wall.
yeah, X-ray vision
Like
cameras.
on Amazon, if you click X-ray, it's always confusing. I'm like, what does that mean? Sometimes I forget about it, and I'll see X-ray. I'm like, what movie are we watching? Oh, they
I
mean
don't-
X-ray.
Wait, what is
Wow.
X-ray on Amazon? I don't even know what this is.
If you're watching a movie on your computer, you can pause it, and it will tell you about all the different actors and give you
I've
background
never heard of this
information about
before.
that scene sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that. I assumed that you meant it was like when you're shopping on Amazon and it's like, see this product in your
Yeah,
room.
that's what I was thinking.
No. It's on the Amazon Prime Video, and it's called X-Ray. and you can like pause it and learn more about it. Sometimes like, who's that actor? And I'll pause it. It will show you the actor, tell you a little biography. You can click on it. They'll show you other movies.
Okay,
all
well,
kinds
if
of
you
stuff.
x-ray this wall, then you see the bathroom storage room, and then you see Mike.
Yes, exactly. I want to watch this pop-up video now. I'm really curious about this.
That's interesting. Well,
Okay.
I'm sure you have it. I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, we got to get bouncing then because we're going to get everything set up. So until next time, I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Wendy Yee.
Stay frosty.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassett.